All right, artists, this video is going to show you how to make a mug using slabs. So we start here with a slab form, kind of in a longer rectangle. Once you have your slab rolled out, you'll want to use one of these rib tools to smooth it out so you have a nice smooth texture. I like the rubber rib tools and the metal rib tools best. Then you'll take one of these rectangle templates from Ms. Punzel or Ms. Chu, and you'll want to trace it on top of your slab. So it'd be good to make sure that your slab will fit that template. Make sure it's big enough. Use a needle tool to trace the template on top of your slab, and then a fettling knife tool to cut that out, trying to make sure that your knife is up and down so that the edges aren't angled one way or another. I do recommend cutting with the knife instead of the needle tool, although both might work. Save those extra scrap pieces. You'll be using that to make the bottom of your mug as well as the handle. So once you have your main form, you are going to take one of those angle cutters and cut a 45-degree angle on one side, then flip it over. On the other side, do the same thing, so that when you take this slab, we are folding it into a cylinder form. It's going to be the main body of your mug. Those two sides will meet up at a nice angle to be able to be scored and slipped together. You could also just have both ends of the rectangle meet up, but I find it's a little bit more sturdy when they're cut at that 45-degree angle. You're going to want to score and slip those edges really well. So here I am scoring, and then I add some slip onto the scoring tool so it gets blended into the clay. Then use your hands to start pressing the pieces, the ends together. Press, 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 smudge, 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 blend the top. And you'll want to be blending in smoothly the outside like I'm doing here with my fingers. You can also use a rib tool to start helping. There we go, rib tool, voila. And you want to do this to the outside as well as the inside of the pot, until you can't see the seam anymore. So here we go, smooth, smooth, smooth. Whatever tool works for you. Fingers, rib tools, wooden modeling tools, they're all great. All right, so now we're going to make the bottom of the mug. Take some of that extra clay that you had, and you'll want to wedge it up and then start pounding it down. You can just use a rolling pin, since this isn't a very big slab, to roll out a slab about the thickness of your pinky. A centimeter thick is good. You could use a rib tool to smooth it out as well. And then take your cylinder, that's the main body of your mug, put it on top of the slab and use the needle tool to trace around it to get the right shape for the bottom of your mug. When you take it off, you can take your fettling knife tool to cut it out. Just smoothing it out there. And then you are going to want to use your scoring tool again. Score around the edge of the bottom, and then score and slip the bottom of your actual pot where they're going to be connected. Kind of think of that as like Velcro. Both the ends that are touching need that scoring method. And again, adding the slip onto my scoring tool so it blends into the clay nicely. And then you can use your fingers and a rib tool or any kind of tool to start connecting that seam. I'm using a knife tool here to cut off any extra clay if it wasn't quite the right size. So just trimming it up a little bit. And now I am blending it together with my fingers. I'll do that with the rib tool as well. Don't have the best view of the bottom from this angle, but you get the idea. Here I'm just rounding out the bottom. If I kind of make wide circles with the pot, it will help round that bottom corner. So feel free to do something like that as well. All right, so now I am creating the shape of my mug. I don't want you to just have a straight-walled cylinder for the mug. I want it to have some variation in form. When you're on the wheel, this happens really a lot more easily, I guess, and symmetrically. doing this hand built, it's going to look a little bit wonky, but try to trust the process. To make the belly of the mug come outwards, you're going to put your hand on the inside and move your fingers out, kind of like in a petting motion, to push out the clay in the belly. From there, when you're doing that, you'll notice that the clay on the outside will start cracking a little bit. Don't worry about that. You don't need to add a ton of extra water unless your clay was really dry for any reason, but instead use a rib tool to start smoothing that as you are working your way around the pot. You can kind of see my finger marks at this time. It will start to come more together though as you keep working it. And then what I'm doing right here is flaring out the lip. So by pinching the lip outwards from the top, it'll make right underneath the lip go in a little bit, so you have a really nice kind of barrel-shaped mug form. And then as a last step, I'm using my fingers to smooth out the lip, make sure everything looks good. I can let my mug firm up a little bit until I do more craftsmanship details with it, smooth it even more. And then in my next video, I'll show you how to add the handle onto your mug. Thanks for watching.